In the annals of early Christianity, few figures stand as enigmatic and intriguing as Philip the Apostle. But what if I told you that this humble follower of Jesus had a secret life that would make even the most seasoned conspiracy theorist's jaw drop? Buckle up, history buffs, because we're about to dive deep into the mysterious world of Philip the Apostle. Philip, one of the 12 disciples chosen by Jesus Christ, is often overshadowed by his more famous counterparts like Peter and John. But don't let his low profile fool you. This man was a powerhouse of faith and a key player in the spread of early Christianity. Born in Bethsaida, the same town as Peter and Andrew, Philip was a simple fisherman who would go on to change the course of history. Now, let's talk about Philip's claim to fame. Tradition holds that he was the first disciple to be personally called by Jesus. Can you imagine that moment? There you are, minding your own business, probably thinking about what you're going to have for dinner, when suddenly the Son of God shows up and says, "Follow me." Talk about a life-changing encounter. But Philip's story doesn't end there. Oh no, it's just getting started. After Jesus' ascension, Philip took his mission seriously. He traveled far and wide, preaching the gospel and performing miracles. We're talking healing the sick, casting out demons, and even raising the dead. Not too shabby for a former fisherman, huh? Now, here's where things get really interesting. According to ancient traditions, Philip's final destination was Hierapolis, a city in modern-day Turkey. This place was known for its hot springs, pagan cults, and apparently a serious dislike for Christian preachers. But Philip, being the absolute mad lad that he was, decided this was the perfect place to set up shop. Legend has it that Philip's preaching in Hierapolis was so effective that he managed to convert the wife of the city's proconsul to Christianity. Now, if you know anything about ancient politics, you know that's a big no-no. The proconsul was not amused, to say the least. In fact, he was so not amused that he decided Philip needed to be silenced. Permanently, this is where our story takes a dark turn. The proconsul ordered Philip's arrest and execution. But here's the kicker. Philip wasn't just executed. He was crucified. Yep, you heard that right. Crucified upside down, to be exact. Now, I know what you're thinking. Upside down crucifixion? That sounds like something out of a horror movie. Well, my friends, sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. But here's where Philip's story gets even more bizarre. According to some accounts, as Philip hung there on the cross, he continued to preach. Can you imagine the scene? There's Philip upside down, probably red in the face from all the blood rushing to his head, still dropping truth bombs on the crowd. Talk about dedication to the cause. Now, you might be wondering, why upside down? Well, there are a few theories. Some say it was because Philip, in his humility, didn't feel worthy to die in the same manner as Jesus. Others suggest it was a form of extra humiliation imposed by his executioners. Either way, it's a pretty metal way to go out. But wait, there's more. Some traditions claim that during Philip's execution, an earthquake suddenly struck the city. The ground split open, and Philip's accusers were swallowed up by the earth. Now, I'm not saying it was divine intervention, but actually, you know what? I am saying it was divine intervention. Because let's face it, that's some Old Testament level smiting right there. Now, let's talk about Philip's legacy. Despite his gruesome end, Philip's influence continued long after his death. The city of Hierapolis became an important Christian center, with a church dedicated to Philip attracting pilgrims for centuries. In fact, archaeologists have recently discovered what they believe to be Philip's tomb in Hierapolis. So, if you're ever in Turkey and fancy a bit of apostolic tomb raiding, you know where to go. But Philip's influence wasn't just limited to Hierapolis. He's venerated as a saint in various Christian traditions, including the Catholic, Orthodox, and Anglican churches. His feast day is celebrated on May 3rd in the Western Church and November 14th in the Eastern Church. So, if you're looking for an excuse to party in May or November, now you've got one. Now, I know what some of you skeptics out there are thinking. This all sounds a bit far-fetched. Where's the proof? Well, my friends, That's the beauty of ancient history. It's a mix of fact, legend, and everything in between. But whether you believe every detail or not, there's no denying that Philip the Apostle was a fascinating figure who played a crucial role in the spread of Christianity. But here is a thought to chew on. What if Philip's story isn't just about religion? What if it's a testament to the power of conviction? Think about it. This guy left everything he knew to follow a radical new teaching. He traveled to foreign lands, faced hostile crowds, and ultimately gave his life for what he believed in. Whether you're religious or not, you've got to admire that level of commitment. And let's not forget the impact of Philip's actions. The movement he helped start will go on to shape Western civilization for the next 2,000 years. Not bad for a fisherman from Bethsaida, right? So, the next time you're feeling unmotivated or questioning your life choices, just remember Philip the Apostle. Remember the guy who was so committed to his cause that he kept preaching even while being crucified upside down. If that doesn't light a fire under you, I don't know what will. In conclusion, Philip the Apostle may not be the most famous of Jesus' disciples, but his story is one of courage, conviction, and maybe a little bit of crazy. From his humble beginnings as a fisherman to his dramatic end as a martyr, Philip's life was anything but ordinary. He reminds us that sometimes the most extraordinary stories come from the most unexpected places. So there you have it, folks. The wild, weird, and wonderful story of Philip the Apostle. A tale of faith, miracles, and upside-down crucifixion. It's the kind of story that makes you wonder what other hidden gems are lurking in the pages of history. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into the life of Philip the Apostle, why not hit that like button and subscribe for more historical shenanigans? Who knows? Maybe next time we'll uncover the secret breakdancing career of St. Augustine or the underground fight club run by medieval monks. Because let's face it, history is way cooler than your high school textbooks ever let on. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep being awesome.